This is Steve, and I'm here with Joe Schomburg. Joe, you made an announcement here just a day or two ago. Why don't you tell me what's going on?
Well, I decided to run for Mark Souder's congressional seat. I decided that the younger generation needs representation. Everyone in Washington right now seems to be lawyers, doctors, rich people that own businesses, and right now the congressional approval rating is only 20%. I think there's no reason that a young, fresh mind can go in there and stand up for what he believes in. I have no political affiliations or special interests. I'm just doing this for my generation, since it seems like that's what Washington is gambling with right now with all their spending.
Okay. What do you think are the major issues that are facing this district?
Well, pretty much major issues, as with the rest of the country, is the loss of jobs and the spending that the government's doing, whether it's the stimulus, the healthcare spending, or anything else that's really sacrificing future job growth by increasing burden on businesses.
Speaking of healthcare, I know that's what your field is healthcare. What kind of issues do you see there as far as issues you think you might be able to affect in Washington?
Well, the biggest thing right now is the healthcare bill. I've had the fortunate pleasure of reading the bill 2 to 3 times, and it's the way the healthcare bill is presented is that it's going to save money, but when you really look at it, all it is increasing spending and increasing government control. The biggest issue is government trying to save money on Medicare, Medicaid by cutting payments to hospitals. And the unfortunate fact for that is when the government cuts back on payments to Medicare, Medicaid, the people with regular private insurance, they're the one that has to pay the rest, called cost shifting. So the more the government tries to save money by increasing the rolls and paying less to hospitals, that gets shifted over to personal people. So really our healthcare costs are only going to go up. The mandates on business are going to increase, fining them, so that's only going to decrease jobs. So the big thing is trying to repeal the healthcare bill and attack each issue in a systematic approach, not one big sweeping healthcare bill like that. So decrease fraud in Medicare, increase primary care access, and increase the affordability of insurance and people with existing conditions.
Do you think not being a lawyer or being of that background might hinder you as far as being able to wade through the bills and figure out what's going on?
Well, I thought about that seriously, honestly, until I had to really start reading into this, and really all it takes is, I think the lawyer background is the best thing, because I'm able to read through the information and do my research. Once again, if you look at Washington now, they're filled with lawyers, and it seems like we just keep getting worse and worse. I think anyone who's able to actually read through the bill, highlight anything they question, and actually do research on it, that's what you really need. Your educational background, I really think, has no bearing on that. As long as you're able to read and disseminate the information and make a good, clear, logical choice for the American people, and especially the people you represent, which would be the 3rd District of Indiana, I think that's the best way.
You kind of got the cart before the horse. Why don't you give me a little bit of background about yourself?
Okay, well, I've lived in Fort Wayne my entire life. I've also lived in Cherubusco and Spencerville, so right around the surrounding area. I went to St. Jude's High School and Eastside High School, then I finished up at Bishop Dwenger. I didn't go to college right away after high school. I worked at Classic Stereo and Video, a locally owned business here, for quite some time. And I started working at UPS, was a manager there for a while. Decided to go back to school for nursing. It looked like, helping people is what I wanted to do. So went back to school for nursing. I started at Ivy Tech, went to IPFW, and then decided I wanted to, explore the world a little bit. So I went to New York University to finish up my nursing degree, which is interesting. That was the first time I ever out of Fort Wayne area and first time I ever flew on a plane. So that was interesting. Sold my house, my car, everything, just flew out to New York. But that really opened my mind up to everything that's going around in the country. And then I got done with my nursing degree in December of 2009, and I started graduate school at Duke University for my master's/doctorate in nursing and healthcare administration. All those classes are online, so I've been doing that here while in Fort Wayne. But I came back to Fort Wayne after school and realized it's troubling just to see how many jobs are leaving the area when we need to bring jobs back. We have so many great schools around the area, great colleges, universities. That's creating a lot of fresh young talent, and which are all my friends, and they all feel that they need to leave the area to get a good job. That's a shame when we can bring jobs back here. Everyone says Fort Wayne and the Northeast Indiana is a great place to raise a family, but it's a bad place for young professionals, and that's just a shame because we have a lot of good, talented young professionals that feel that they leave the area when we can keep them here by bringing jobs back.
So have you held public office before, Joe?
No, I haven't. I really think that's my biggest draw is I have no public experience in Washington or even on the state level. So I have no ties, no special interest or personal affiliations with anyone. I'm not going to Washington to make friends. I have enough around here in the Northeast Indiana. So I am not afraid to speak my mind or what I know is right. And if they try to run me out of Washington, that's fine. But I will always represent the people of Northeast Indiana.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add?
My family, Tallaricos and Schomburgs, have always been involved in the politics around here in Fort Wayne. I've always kind of looked off to the side a little bit, but I've always observed how they held themselves. My grandfather, Sam Tallaricos, was in city council for a very long time, and I've learned a lot by watching him. It's honesty, truth, and respect, and everything else will fall into place. So that's what I will always adhere to from my whole life, especially doing this with politics. I will always represent the people of Northeast Indiana and the American people, and I will make sure that I make the right decisions based on them, not party lines or special votes or trying to do bribes or kickbacks. It's to represent the people of Northeast Indiana, and that's what I'm here to do.
Joe, we thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.